In this video, I'd like to look back at the advice Adrian gave you about tackling question 4. He suggested that you should tackle question 4 before you tackle question 3. That's because it's worth many more marks, and you should plan to spend 20 minutes on this question, and you don't want to lose the opportunity to gain those marks. Question 3 is worth fewer marks, and by doing question 4 you may well get some ideas that you could eventually use in answering question 3. The question is an evaluation question. You'll be asked to look at a section of the text, then you'll be given an opinion by someone who's read that piece of the text, and your job is to explain the extent to which you agree or disagree with that opinion. You're asked to consider your own impressions of what happens, evaluate how the writer creates a certain effect. It's really important to take note of what kind of effect you are being asked to comment on. There may be a particular kind of description or insight or character. So when you come to do your plan, you really need to consider what it is you're being asked to comment on in this section, in this second bullet point here. And you're obviously asked to make regular references to the text in different ways. So Adrian suggested that you try and agree as much as possible with the opinion. You're the judge, so it's about your own critical evaluation of how successful the writer is, but you're going to have to justify that as well, of course. Keep bearing in mind this bit of the second bullet point. You'll be asked to consider a particular kind of description, insight, or effect, and you have to keep coming back to that when you tackle this question. Adrian suggested that you should do a plan. On this left-hand side, you should remind yourself of the particular focus of the question, the particular aspect of the question you're looking to address, the quote you're going to use, and then in this column make brief notes on your own judgment. Explore how that particular quote, how that technique works, how effective it is, and its impact on you as a reader. So Adrian sort of took you through this little plan here, exploring how useful it can be to organise your thoughts before you come to tackling the writing element of this question. It is worth 20 marks, so you need to spend time doing that plan first of all. Here is a sample paragraph. I just want to highlight some of the points that Adrian brought out in the workshop with you. I agree the text has a frightening tone, you see, so you're setting out to agree with the opinion. It has a frightening tone, so that's the element you want to focus on. The writer describes the cars as haunting the bank, so you're making embedding a quote there, so you're referring back to the text. This use of personification, use of a bit of subject terminology there, and beginning to explore now how the use of that word suggests things to you as a reader and perhaps links up with other elements, other detail within the text. You can see here in this sentence the frightening tone is reinforced. Again, coming back to this idea of the frightening tone by the weather, which is still uncomfortably cold, pathetic fallacy. Another little bit of subject terminology there, and again continuing to refer to your own response. It makes me think that they might be waiting for a dead body to be found. However, whilst I feel some sense of threat, the tone is not too frightening. So just not a complete paragraph perhaps, but just a little glimpse of the kind of structure that you could be trying to follow. Making a point, putting in a little quote there, and then beginning to unpack that in terms of the technique and its effect on the reader. Adrian suggested that it's a good idea to agree with the statement, but you may want to qualify that agreement in different ways. So you could use phrases like, I agree to a lesser or greater extent because, in paragraph 5, for example, the tone is less frightening because, I think that's the bit of the story where the focus shifts from the river to the narrator's home. So set out to agree with the opinion, but be ready to qualify your opinion in different ways if you feel the need to. So that's question 4. It's worth 20 marks, so spend 20 minutes on it. Do some planning before you set about writing your answer.